My dearest Lucy, by the time you read this, I will be dead. Not by enemy fire, not in battle. By order of the man I once served, because I told the truth. The war is lost. It has been lost since 1943. But Hitler cannot accept it. And anyone who says it out loud dies. This letter was written by Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, Germany's most celebrated general. On October 14, 1944, the SS came for him. They gave him a choice: suicide or trial. If he chose trial, his wife Lucy and son Manfred would be executed. So he took the cyanide pill. He died at 1:15 p.m. Hitler announced he'd succumbed to his wounds from Normandy. A state funeral was held, full honors. The lie was perfect, but the letter survived. And it reveals the most dangerous secret of World War II. Germany's best generals knew they'd lost years before the surrender, and they were murdered for saying it. This is their story.
This letter was written by Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, Germany's most celebrated general. On October 14, 1944, the SS came for him. They gave him a choice: suicide or trial. If he chose trial, his wife Lucy and son Manfred would be executed. So, he took the cyanide pill. He died at 1:15 p.m. Hitler announced he'd succumbed to his wounds from Normandy. A state funeral was held. Full honors. The lie was perfect. But the letter survived, and it reveals the most dangerous secret of World War II. Germany's best generals knew they'd lost years before the surrender, and they were murdered for saying it. This is their story.
June 1940, France. Erwin Rommel commands the 7th Panzer Division. In just 6 weeks, his division advances further and faster than any other unit in the Wehrmacht. They call it the Ghost Division, because it moves so fast, even German high command loses track of it. Rommel is 48 years old, a tactical genius, fearless. His men worship him. When France surrenders, Rommel is a national hero. Hitler takes notice. February 1941, North Africa. The British are crushing Italian forces in Libya. Mussolini begs Hitler for help. Hitler sends one man, Rommel, with just 2 divisions, the Africa Corps. Push the British back to Egypt, Hitler orders. Rommel does better than that. In 2 years, Rommel becomes a legend. He outmaneuvers British generals with half their resources, captures Tobruk, pushes to El Alamein, just 100 kilometers from Cairo. The British nickname him the desert fox. Even Churchill admires him. Rommel is Hitler's poster boy, the perfect Aryan warrior. Brilliant, charismatic, loyal. But something is changing. Not in battle, in Rommel's mind. November 1942, Al Alamein. The British counterattack with overwhelming force. Montgomery has 200,000 men, 1,000 tanks, complete air superiority. Rommel has 50,000 men, 200 tanks, and almost no fuel. He writes to his wife Lucy, "The material superiority of the enemy is crushing. I fear the worst." Hitler's orders are clear. Hold, do not retreat. Rommel disobeys. He retreats, saves his army from annihilation. Hitler is furious, but Rommel is too famous to punish. March 1943, Tunisia. Rommel is sick, exhausted, watching his Afrika Korps disintegrate. He flies to Hitler's headquarters in East Prussia, begs for permission to evacuate North Africa before the army is trapped. Hitler refuses. There will be no retreat. Tunisia will be held. Rommel stares at him. For the first time, he sees it clearly. Hitler doesn't care about the men, doesn't care about strategy. He cares about ego. Rommel is sent back to Germany to recover. He's relieved of command. From his home, he watches the news. May 1943. 250,000 German and Italian troops surrender in Tunisia. The entire Afrika Korps destroyed. Rommel writes in his diary, "Hitler's refusal to listen to military reality cost us an entire army. This is not war. This is madness." But he doesn't send this to Berlin, because saying it out loud is treason.
July 1943, Italy. The Allies invade Sicily. Mussolini is overthrown. Germany's southern flank is collapsing. Rommel is given a new command, Northern Italy. His mission? Prepare defenses in case the Italians surrender and switch sides. They do. September 1943, Italy surrenders to the Allies. Overnight, Germany's ally becomes its enemy. Rommel's forces have to disarm 1 million Italian troops and occupy the entire Italian peninsula. It's chaos. November 1943. Rommel is summoned to Hitler's headquarters. "I'm giving you the most important command of the war," Hitler says. Army Group B, France. "You will stop the Allied invasion." Rommel accepts. But privately, he's terrified. Because he's seen the intelligence reports. The Allies are massing troops in England. Thousands of ships, tens of thousands of aircraft, and Germany's Atlantic Wall, the coastal defenses Hitler claims are impregnable, are a joke. December 1943, Normandy. Rommel tours the fortifications. Pillboxes half-finished. Minefields incomplete. Obstacles inadequate. He writes to Hitler, "The Atlantic Wall is a propaganda myth. We need at least 50 million more mines, more divisions, more panzers near the coast, or we will lose the first day. Hitler's response? The defenses are adequate. The enemy will be thrown back into the sea. Rommel stares at the letter. He knows the truth now. Hitler doesn't live in reality. He lives in fantasy. And Germany is going to pay for it. Rommel writes to Lucy that night, "I fear for Manfred's future. This war will not end well for Germany." It's the first time he's admitted it, even to his wife. The war cannot be won. June 5th, 1944, 11 p.m. Rommel is at home in Herrlingen, Germany. It's his wife Lucy's 50th birthday. He's taken a few days' leave to visit her, to bring her a gift. He knows the invasion is coming soon, but German intelligence says the weather is too bad. The Allies won't attack for at least a week. So Rommel allows himself this moment, one last birthday with his wife, before everything falls apart. June 6th, 1944, 6:30 a.m. The phone rings. It's his Chief of Staff, General Hans Speidel. Herr Feldmarschall, the invasion has begun. Normandy, 5 beaches. Rommel's blood turns cold. How many troops? Tens of thousands, maybe more. We're still getting reports. Where are the panzers? Hitler hasn't released them yet. Rommel hangs up, sits down. For a moment, he doesn't move. He knows what this means. The panzers, the armored divisions that could stop the invasion, are stationed inland. Hitler has personally ordered that they cannot move without his authorization. And Hitler is asleep. No one dares wake him. By the time the order comes, it will be too late. Rommel races back to France, arrives at his headquarters at 10 p.m., 16 hours after the landings began. The reports are devastating. The Allies have air supremacy. Any unit that moves during daylight is destroyed. The Atlantic Wall has been breached in multiple locations. Over 150,000 Allied troops are already ashore. And the panzers still haven't been released. Rommel slams his fist on the table. We've lost. We've already lost. His staff goes silent. Herr Feldmarschall, if we don't push them back into the sea in the first 48 hours, we'll never push them back at all. It's been 16 hours. The 48-hour window is already half closed. The next month is hell. Rommel tries everything. Throwing in reserves, counterattacks, defensive lines. Nothing works. Allied air power is overwhelming. Every road, every bridge, every convoy targeted and destroyed. German tanks can't move during the day. Supply trucks are obliterated. Ammunition runs out. Fuel runs out. And reinforcements? They're coming from the Eastern Front, where the Red Army has just launched Operation Bagration, the largest Soviet offensive of the war. Germany is being crushed from both sides. June 17th, 1944, Margival, France. Rommel meets with Hitler. It's the first time they've seen each other since the invasion. Hitler looks exhausted, paranoid. "We will throw them back," Hitler says. "We have new weapons, V-1 rockets, jets. They will turn the tide." Rommel can't hold it in anymore. "Mein Führer, the situation in Normandy is hopeless. Allied material superiority is 10-1. We cannot win this battle." Hitler's eyes narrow. "Then what do you suggest, Herr Feldmarschall?" Rommel takes a breath. We must negotiate, make peace with the Western Allies before Germany is completely destroyed. The room goes silent. Hitler stares at Rommel. Then he explodes. Negotiate. You want me to surrender? Not surrender, mein Führer. Negotiate. Before... Enough! Hitler's face is red, shaking. You will fight. You will hold. You will win. Or you will die trying. He storms out. Rommel stands there. He knows now. There will be no negotiation. Hitler would rather see Germany destroyed than admit defeat. Rommel returns to Normandy, writes in his diary, "The war is lost. Hitler refuses to see it. If he continues on this path, Germany will be annihilated. Someone must act." But what can he do? He's a soldier. He follows orders, even when those orders are insane. July 15th, 1944, La Roche-Guyon, France. Rommel's headquarters. His chief of staff, General Speidel, enters. Herr Feldmarschall, there's something I need to tell you. Rommel looks up. There are others, officers, generals, in Berlin, who believe as you do. Believe what? That the war is lost and that Hitler is leading Germany to destruction. Rommel says nothing. They're planning something. To remove him, to negotiate peace before it's too late. Rommel stares at Speidel. Are you asking me to commit treason? I'm asking you to save Germany. Rommel is silent for a long time. Then he says, if Hitler refuses to negotiate, then yes, I will support removing him. Speidel nods. There's a plan. In 5 days, July 20th. July 17th, 1944. 6 p.m. Rommel is driving back from the front. His staff car is on a country road in Normandy. Suddenly, his driver shouts, "Aircraft! Spitfires!" 2 British fighters dive. Machine guns open fire. Bullets shred the car. The driver is hit, loses control. The car crashes into a ditch. Rommel is thrown from the vehicle. His skull is fractured, his face badly injured. He's unconscious, bleeding. His aides pull him from the wreckage, rush him to a field hospital. The doctors aren't sure he'll survive. July 20th, 1944, 12:42 p.m. Wolfslair, East Prussia. A bomb explodes in Hitler's conference room. The assassination attempt fails. Hitler survives. Rommel is in a coma. He doesn't know about the bomb. Doesn't know that the conspiracy has been exposed. Doesn't know that Hitler has ordered the Gestapo to hunt down everyone involved. By midnight, 200 people are arrested. By the end of the week, the interrogations begin. Under torture, they give names. One name keeps appearing in the transcripts. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel.
August 1944. Rommel wakes from his coma. He's been transferred to a hospital near his home in Herrlingen. The doctors say he'll recover, but it will take months. Lucy visits him every day. She tells him about the failed assassination attempt, about the mass arrests, the executions. Rommel listens, says nothing. But he knows. He knows his name is on a list somewhere. September 1944. Rommel is recovering at home.
His son, Manfred, 15 years old, helps him walk in the garden. They don't talk about the war. They talk about normal things: school, books, the future. Rommel treasures these moments because he knows they won't last. October 7th, 1944. The Gestapo finds a document, a transcript of a conversation between General Speidel and other conspirators. Rommel's name is mentioned. Quote, "Rommel agrees. He will support removing the Führer if necessary." Unquote. The report goes to Hitler. Hitler reads it, stares at the page. Rommel, his favorite general, the Desert Fox, a traitor. Hitler makes a decision. Rommel is too famous to execute publicly. A trial would be a propaganda disaster. So there will be no trial. There will be suicide. Forced. Quiet. With honors. And if Rommel refuses, his entire family will be arrested and executed.
October 14, 1944, 12 p.m., Herrlingen, Germany. Rommel is in his study. He's writing a letter to Lucy. He's been writing it for days because he knows they're coming. 12:47 p.m. A car pulls up to the house. Two men in SS uniforms step out. General Wilhelm Burgdorf, General Ernst Meisel. They knock on the door. Lucy answers. "We need to speak with the Feldmarschall." Rommel meets them in his study. Burgdorf gets straight to the point. "Herr Feldmarschall, you have been implicated in the plot to assassinate the Führer." Rommel says nothing. "You have a choice." Burgdorf places a small wooden box on the desk. "This contains cyanide. If you take it, you will die within minutes. You will receive a state funeral, full military honors, and your family will be safe." He pauses. "If you refuse, you will be arrested and tried for treason. You will be hanged. Your wife will be arrested. Your son will be sent to a camp. Your entire family will be destroyed." Rommel stares at the box. "How long do I have?" 15 minutes. Rommel stands, walks upstairs. Lucy is in their bedroom. She knows. She's known for days. "It's time," Rommel says. Lucy begins to cry. Rommel holds her. "I'm sorry. I tried to stop it, but it's too late." "I know." Rommel goes to Manfred's room. His son is 15, still in his Hitler Youth uniform. He doesn't understand what's happening. "Father?" Rommel hugs him. "Take care of your mother." "Where are you going?" "I'll be back soon." It's a lie. But Rommel can't tell him the truth. Can't tell him that his father is about to be murdered by the regime he's been taught to worship. 1 p.m. Rommel walks downstairs. Burgdorf and Meisel are waiting. Rommel picks up the wooden box. "I'm ready." They drive him to a secluded spot in the woods, 3 kilometers from his home. The car stops. Burgdorf hands Rommel the capsule. "For Germany," Burgdorf says. Rommel looks at him. "Germany is already dead. You just haven't realized it yet." He takes the capsule. 1:15 p.m. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel is dead. 2 SS officers return to Rommel's house. They tell Lucy and Manfred, "The Field Marshal has died. A heart attack, related to his head injuries from Normandy." Lucy says nothing. Manfred is confused. But he was getting better. It was sudden, Bergdorf says. These things happen. October 15th, 1944. Hitler releases a statement. Field Marshal Erwin Rommel has succumbed to injuries sustained in the line of duty. Germany has lost one of its greatest soldiers. He will be given a state funeral with full military honors. The newspapers print it. The nation mourns. The lie is perfect. October 18th, 1944. Ulm, Germany. The funeral. Thousands attend, Nazi flags everywhere. Field Marshal von Rundstedt gives the eulogy. Rommel's heart belonged to the Führer. Lucy sits in the front row, black veil, silent. Manfred sits beside her, 15 years old, straight-backed, in uniform. He doesn't cry, because he still believes his father died a hero. He won't learn the truth for years. Hitler sends a wreath. The card reads, "To Germany's greatest field marshal," the same man who ordered his execution.
1945. The war ends. 1946. The Nuremberg trials. Slowly, the truth comes out. Testimony from survivors of the July 20th plot. Documents seized from SS headquarters. And finally, Rommel's letter to Lucy, the one he'd been writing for days before the SS came. My dearest Lucy, by the time you read this, I will be dead. Not by enemy fire, not in battle, by order of the man I once served. I write this so that Manfred will know the truth one day, so that history will know the truth. The war is lost. It has been lost since 1943. I knew it when I saw the intelligence before Kursk. I knew it when the Allies landed in Normandy. I knew it when I met with Hitler and begged him to negotiate. He refused. Hitler would rather see Germany destroyed than admit he was wrong. And now, because I said this out loud, because I told the truth, I am being forced to end my own life. I do not do this for Hitler. I do this for you, for Manfred, so that you will be safe. Tell Manfred that I died fighting for Germany, but not Hitler's Germany, the Germany that could have been. I am sorry I failed. I love you both. Erwin. The letter survives. It's published in 1950. The world reads it and finally understands. Rommel didn't die a hero's death in battle. He was murdered for telling the truth.
Rommel wasn't alone. Between July and December 1944, nearly 5,000 Germans were executed. Not by the Allies, by Hitler, for the crime of knowing the war was lost. General Ludwig Beck, Chief of the General Staff, resigned in 1938 in protest of Hitler's war plans, led the July 20th conspiracy. When the plot failed, he tried to shoot himself. The gun misfired. An SS officer finished the job. Field Marshal Erwin von Witzleben, Commander-in-Chief designate after Hitler's assassination. When the plot failed, he was arrested. August 8, 1944. Tried in a show trial. Told the judge, I tried to save Germany from Hitler. hanged with piano wire the same day. Hitler watched the footage that night. General Friedrich Olbricht organized the military side of the coup, shot in the courtyard of the Bendler block. 10 p.m., July 20th, 1944. Before the firing squad shot him, he shouted, "Long live sacred Germany!" Colonel Klaus von Stauffenberg planted the bomb, arrested the same night. Shot at 12:15 a.m., July 21, 1944. His last words were, "Long live secret Germany." General Henning von Tresckow, one of the earliest conspirators. When the plot failed, he knew what was coming. July 21, 1944, Eastern Front. He walked into a field, detonated a hand grenade next to his head. Before he died, he told a friend, "The moral worth of a man begins only when he is ready to sacrifice his life for his convictions." Over 7,000 people were arrested. Nearly 5,000 executed. Judges, officers, diplomats, civilians, anyone connected to the plot, anyone who said the war was lost, anyone who tried to stop Hitler.
When people think of World War II, they think of battles. D-Day, Stalingrad, Midway. But this story isn't about battles. It's about truth. Germany's best generals knew the war was lost years before it ended. Rommel knew in 1943. Guderian knew in 1941. Beck knew in 1938. But they couldn't say it, because in Nazi Germany, the truth was treason. And when they finally tried to act, when they tried to remove Hitler and save what was left of Germany, they failed, and they were murdered. Not on the battlefield, in show trials, in executions, in forced suicides, hanged with piano wire, shot in courtyards, forced to swallow cyanide in their living rooms. Rommel's funeral was attended by thousands. Hitler sent a wreath. The lie was perfect, but the letter survived, and now we know the truth. Rommel didn't die a hero's death. He died because he told the truth, that Hitler was leading Germany to annihilation, and that the war was already lost. The tragedy of Nazi Germany wasn't just the Holocaust, wasn't just the millions killed in combat. It was this: when the men who could have stopped it, the generals who saw the disaster coming, finally tried to act, they were already too late. And Hitler made sure they would die for trying. My dearest Lucy, by the time you read this, I will be dead, because I told the truth. Remember the name, Erwin Rommel, the field marshal who knew too much and died for it. End. This story is based on verified historical records, including Rommel's personal letters, testimony from the Nuremberg trials, and documents from the July 20th plot. All quotes are from historical sources.